Okay, all right. We're live. Everything's up and rolling, finally. Pardon me for the technical delays, but thank you so much for joining us today to talk about how to get good guest reviews at your hotel. Now, as a hotelier, this is paramount because, as you're just about to see, this is going to drive your revenues, it's going to drive repeat business. It's really just the center of a good, proactive, direct booking strategy. So let's get into it. Here we go. So, why are reviews so important? TrustYou did a white paper, which I really found fascinating, where they found that when traveling for leisure, each different group rated reviews as more and more and more important. Specifically, reviews and consumers that were looking to travel, instead of looking at their friends, but they're actually looking to reviews more importantly to get a reason to book, a very important, extremely important reason to book. All right, so that's very, very strong. Secondly, actually this one was done by TrustYou as well, and they found that guests were willing to spend more at hotels with higher review scores. And this is really cool. They did a heat mapping survey where they did different controls. They had different prices, 100, 105, 110, and they had different review scores. And they found that by heat tracking, this is kind of the pattern that people were following. They were kind of ending down here. They did really look at that review score, and the intention to book, the clicks were the greatest at this one, even though it was 10% more expensive. So that right there, again, shows you how psychologically people interact with reviews, and that helps your hotel get more and more attention. Here are some of the raw data numbers, but when all prices were the same, a 10% increase of review score from 80 to 90% resulted in 60% of the clicks. Right? That's massive. That's a huge competitive advantage. That's like being first on Google. So just review scores there show you how incredibly impactful, how much more in front of people you can be with this. I'll post all of the data on the landing page for this event, which is moredirectbooking.com/guest-reviews. Okay? So moving forward. So clearly, positive reviews are great for revenues, right? Another quote from the same study is that when explicitly asked about an increase in pricing, 76% of travelers reported that they would be willing to spend more at a hotel with higher review scores. So again, this is an amazing competitive advantage, and it all comes back to a couple things, which we're going to cover here. But we can never stop underlining how important this is for your economies, especially since we've seen TripAdvisor, the number one largest travel-related website in the world, basically jump out of nowhere in the span of 4 or 5 years, take over the industry just based on reviews. So if that doesn't prove it, nothing else will. So how do we make sure that we are consistently generating good reviews? Well, first of all, no inferior service or product, please. That should go without saying. You just can't get good reviews if you don't have a good product. And actually, if you have good reviews and then somebody goes to the hotel and they don't have a good experience, but their expectations were up here, well, you just shot yourself in the foot, because they're gonna leave a negative review, and people, as we all know, they respond much stronger to negative reviews than positive reviews. We don't want that to happen. So the first and foremost is your product. The second, I'm going to say, is also a consistent push for direct bookings, because getting good reviews requires a lot of communication, and you can't communicate with people if you don't know their names, if you don't know their email addresses. So third parties are kind of blocking you when it comes to setting up a positive communication channel to get those reviews. So that should also be a given, that you have to have good product and also direct booking strategy. Second you need to set expectations, right? They can't be off. They can't be misleading. We need to know, to do that, we need to know who we're talking to. Are we talking to millennials? Are we talking to people in the grand generation? We're talking to families. We're talking to business people. You really need to know that. So if you're not answering this question on a day-to-day basis, if you haven't set up the archetypes, if you haven't interviewed people, then all of your communications are going to kind of miss the mark. There was one client of mine who said that she had a solid 3-star resort, but it was a perfect 10-star for the right person, because it was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So what she would do is every time she would get a booking, she would actually call them and qualify them. Now, are you sure you want peace and solitude and quiet and nature? Do you want to be on the beach for 3 or 4 days and never see anybody? Is that really what you're looking for? And she would qualify them, and they would come and they would leave amazing reviews because it was really what they were looking for. Otherwise, people would say, oh, it's inconvenient, you have to go on a dirt road, there's no shopping in the area. So she really knew who she was talking to, and she made all of her messaging, all of her communications based on that. So that's really important. That's first and foremost. Second, what do your guests like best about your property? Look through TripAdvisor, look through all the reviews, and circle what they like best. Really highlight what your property is for them, right? Maybe that's not on your website right now, and maybe it should be. So that messaging, again, it attracts the right people who have the expectations that they want to do something really, really fun and out there. There's a good example that actually I heard just last week, where there's a cabin up in Montana, and on Booking.com they had to label themselves as a condo. Well, then that completely misset the expectations, and then when people went there, they found it was a rustic cabin. That's not what they were looking for. So Sojourn worked with them to really make sure that all their communications were setting expectations and showing what the clients liked, the guests liked best about that property. It's rustic. You go fishing, you wake up with the roosters. They like that, so they really, really highlighted that in all their communications. So that's number 2, and that's key. Next, what still needs improvement? You're looking for good things. You're looking for things you can use to brag about you and catch people's attention. But this is also a really great time to focus on getting good inventory, making sure that your rooms, your service, everything is as good as it could possibly be. I can't tell you, I was actually laid over in Austin, Texas one time because my flight was canceled and it was an emergency situation. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and I stayed in this hotel. The hotel was perfect, but the front desk staff, even though I told them I had a taxi picking me up at 4 a.m., I had to be at the airport, they didn't bother walking the 20 feet and then up a flight of stairs and then 2 doors over to knock on my door and wake me up. My alarm was blaring, the taxi was waiting, they sent the taxi away. That's a big service failure, and it all comes back to the attitude that they had there. If people are complaining about that on TripAdvisor, you got to fix that right away, because no millions of dollars of investment is going to fix that, because it's a human problem, right? So what still needs improvement? Do focus on that if you want better results. And then what kind of language do your guests use? Hey, are they the people that like to kick back? They like to cut loose? Do they like to crash? Do they like to just chill? What are the catchphrases that they're using? Because there's so much in language that identifies the right target market, the right audience. So we really want to make sure that when we're going through TripAdvisor, we're picking up those things that really kind of stand out. Oh my gosh, it's lightning in a bottle. And then we use that phrase in our marketing, because there's a cultural identity. And when you create that, it sets expectations. And again, setting good expectations is what you need to create a bond and to create good reviews. Next, how could you add value for each group? Don't just think about room is a room is a room. if we want to compete against the OTAs that say we have the best prices, and Airbnb says we have the most interesting stays, well, maybe you need the best service offerings. So if it is somebody from the grand generation and they come and they stay with you, well, hey, this is a room plus a golf cart tour of the area, right? Think of a unique service offering that might not cost you a lot. You might be able to partner with a local vendor, but just organizing that is such a burden off of people's shoulders. And then they're going to see that you're going over and beyond what you have to do, and they reward that with positive comments in TripAdvisor, etc. So those are the surprise and delight points that we really need to make sure that we're adding to all of our marketing, all of our communications. Third, good pre-stay communication. Now, Kimberly Whitecamp did a great webinar on this topic specifically. You can find that. Just go to moredirectbooking.com/webinar workshops, and you can check that out. But in short, how are you opening the lines of communication? Right? Is your first email just, we processed your credit card, good luck getting here, see you later? Is that the tone? Or are you adding value to that first communication? Are you helping people figure out which highway they should take? Hey, if you're going up to LA, the traffic is a huge problem. I'm not a local. I don't know which highways to take, which places to look out for. If you were to email me that kind of stuff, that would be a huge benefit. If you're in Santa Barbara and you knew I had to drive through LA, again, a huge benefit, like, hey, leave at this time, don't hit these hours. Those are great opening volleys to a friendly, helpful communication. So all those things I would appreciate. Next, how are you bridging the language barrier? This is really important for international guests. The time zones are different. They're gonna write you an email in German, right? You're not gonna get it. It's gonna be a day late. Germans are very punctual. They're worried about, hey, if we check in late, are you gonna give our room away? So how are you opening lines of communication? I really do recommend the chat feature or SMS features into your booking process, just because that lets you keep a record of everything. It also lets you forward the request to the appropriate departments. For example, ADA, wheelchair accessibility issues. Maybe you need to have somebody there at the curb when they arrive. That would be a huge thing. And if you just show people that you have that ability to bridge the language barrier and to make a really quick reply without them picking up the phone, then again, that's being helpful. And I really believe these days that hospitality doesn't start when somebody walks in the door. It starts with our marketing, because if our marketing is helpful, then people are not seeing it as marketing. They're seeing it as an extension of a friendship. And again, that's great for direct bookings. That's great for getting guest reviews. One hand washes the other. Next, what do different guest segments need to know? I just talked about traveling through LA, but traveling with children. Is there a way on your website that people can say, okay, I'm traveling with children, and then they opt in to an email autoresponder that then gives them everything they need to know for traveling with children, right? Hey, your kids, if you get stuck in traffic, here are some parks that you can pull off and play at until traffic blows over. If you're traveling with a baby, here are the ways that you can get a crib. Hey, if you have dietary issues, this is what you need to know. This is who you contact. All these little things that appeal to different guest segments. The more that you can put this out there, the more people are going to be bonded to you, because, for example, if they're traveling with kids and you save them on their first trip, my God, they're not going to go somewhere else. They're not going to chance it again when you treated them so well the first time. So different guest segments have different needs. Make sure that you're servicing that. Next, how can you make their planning easier? I don't know how many times that I've said, hey, let's go on a trip. I booked a hotel. Let's get in the car early morning. I forgot a couple things. We're in a rush. I'm just driving. My wife goes to sleep. We finally arrive, and we haven't planned anything. We haven't planned any activities. Well, it's kind of a letdown, right? It's kind of a lot of energy for nothing. We end up just hitting the major tourist activities. We couldn't find parking, etc. If you make sure to put yourself in the traveler's point of view, and you put together like 3 or 4 nice day trips. Those 3 or 4 nice day trips are things that you can use for your first emails. They can use on your website. It can be used in your social media. It can be used as a text, automated text message that goes out before guests arrive. There's a lot of ways that you can make people's planning easier. You know, you have the local advantage. You have something that Booking.com will never have, right? They have to have standardized information. You can have localized information. So again, that creates a great advantage that somebody else can't take away. And also, you can use that advantage to work with local vendors, and you can say, hey, when you come into town, make sure to get a beach cruiser. Here's 15% off. There's a beach cruiser shop right down here. You can go along Mission Beach, you know, grab some ceviche, hit the roller coaster. There's all this cool stuff you can do. Again, you just made my life easier, and I'm going to repay that with gratitude on TripAdvisor, right? So, next, post-stay follow-up. This is where I have to say 99% of the hotels drop the ball. If they're going to follow up with somebody, it's usually just with another promotion. Like, hey, why don't you come back and spend more money? Well, that's not a very friendly message. It's okay, but it's a strict marketing message. Post-stay follow-up is really a little bit more about rekindling their memories. So think about how can you help their best memories percolate to the top. If you want a good guest review, the best type of guest reviews are based upon a memory. So there's bad reviews that say, oh, you know, they had good service, they had good coffee, they had good view, they had good, right? That reads like dust on the internet. A great review would be, you know, this is the first time my 5-year-old has been up to Santa Barbara. He couldn't believe that the pier was so big, and we stopped into the candy store that you recommended, and his eyes were so wide, you couldn't believe how excited he was. And then we enjoyed a really great steak dinner at that other restaurant that you recommended. Thanks so much for that. I really appreciate the emails that you sent before we arrived to help us plan things out. You know, I just didn't have time to do that. Your staff was really great. Right? That's so much better. That's so much nicer. So something focused on a story is important, and the way you do that is after they leave, you send that personalized email. Hey, this is the manager. Just wanted to see if you like that store I sent you to. You know, how did your kid like the beach, etc. You know, really making that personalized effort, because I know it sounds like it might take a lot of time out of your day, but one email that's 3 sentences long can yield a 5-star guest review, and Trust You has found that a 1-star overall increase in reviews actually relates to a 12% increase in revenues. So it's much better than dialing for dollars, right? Every email you send, you should hear ka-ching when you send it off. So help them spark good memories. That will do that. Next, what's your offline strategy for poor reviews? Getting good reviews is great. Getting poor reviews off of the social media feed is even better. And here's the tip when you do that. Don't just say we're sorry. Show them how you are making whatever it was better. That's what it's all about. You know, show a picture of your calendar, and in bright red lettering, you know, fix this thing that Mr. John told me about. Put it on your calendar. Put a tack in it. Put a pin in it. And then when you actually resolve that issue, reach back out to that guest. Say, thank you for telling us about this. We have resolved this issue. By the way, here's a discount coupon for your next stay with us. We really apologize, and we're hoping to welcome you someday soon. And I'll show you later how you can create those special coupons in this video, so that you can either send that to him personally, or if worst case scenario this happened online, you could send it online, and once you've really fixed the problem, of course, and other people can take advantage of that. It's been said that people do read the good and the bad, and they weigh the bad with a little grain of salt, but the fact that you respond to the bad and you correct the situation is actually the thing that people are really reading for, because then that shows that you're going to take care of them on property if things do go bad. Excuse me, I don't know if my water pipe just burst out here. Yep, that was it. I'm a little wet, okay? I had an old hose and it was bulging and it just finally went. So there we go. Somebody's gonna write a bad review for me. I've got to show them, yes, I did fix that, and thank you so much for that. Here's the code to show you that I fixed everything, and we'll welcome you next time. So accidents happen, I understand. Okay, next. Are there any extra special touches to say a big thank you to good guests, to guests that loved you, that want to tell the world about you? Do you have any way to give them an extra special thank you? I'm not just talking about discounts here, and I'm not just talking about chocolates. I'm talking about a card. Can you send them something physical that is really personal to show people that you appreciate them? That stuff, because we live in a digital age nowadays, that stuff, if you send somebody a biggie card, like this big, they'll put it up on their mantle. They'll tell people about you. So do you have any kind of automated offline or direct mail system in place to do this, or any other kind of video, email, anything like that? Do think about this, because that, again, it separates you from the rest. And that's what we want, because that's what creates positive reviews. Moving on with the drink of water. So, fifth, we want to personally curate and ask for TripAdvisor reviews. Once somebody said, I love this place. Once somebody's written a great testimonial for you on TripAdvisor, reach out to them and say, well, thank you so much, but do it in a personal way. So ask yourself, how well can you personalize your emails? Never, never, never make the mistake of sending an automated carbon copy email to somebody who spent the time to sit down and say nice things about you. That would be a huge mistake. It would be a huge mistake of protocol. Think about it like you're in high school, and there's a girl or a guy that likes you, and they write a little love note. How do you reply? It's not with a form email. So really think about how well you can personalize your emails so that it's genuine. Next, ask yourself, are you getting permission to clip content for marketing efforts? Do you have a little playbook, an email playbook by the computer that you can say, hey, who's ever answering these emails, just please make sure to put in a nice line to let us use this for our own marketing. The line that I like is, we'd love to share your story to celebrate such and such occasion. Would that be okay with you? All right. So think about an occasion, an anniversary, a holiday coming up. We want to share your story because we want other guests to get just as much out of their experience with us as you did. Is it okay if we share that story? So make sure that you're asking for permission. Again, you don't get a love note and then share it with everybody else without permission. That would just be rude. Next, how are you encouraging them to go to TripAdvisor? Is this automated or personal? Well, I do believe that at this point, somebody has given you a positive review, you've responded personally. Yes, I believe in real, not HTML, super short emails that say, hey, that is so cool. I'm really overjoyed that you had a great time with your spouse and your kid. Would you mind telling other people about that on TripAdvisor, so that more of the families like yours, more families like yours can enjoy their stay in Santa Barbara, etc. So reach out personally. If it's automated, try to make sure there's some value added thing there. There should be some sort of bonus that, hey, thank you so much. Here's a coupon for 2 free welcome martinis the next time you come back. So there needs to be value added. Somebody just gave you something. It's only polite to give them something in return. It's not a one-way street. That's all I'm saying. Okay, next. What kind of reward do you offer for action? Whether somebody leaves sorry to say, you ask somebody personally, you did respond with a thank you, a voucher, whatnot. But when they do take action, follow up on that as well, because just taking action is the point, is the thing that we're really rewarding, not how good the action was by per se. It can be a 3-star, it can be a 2-star, it can be a 1-star. Whatever it is, reward the action, because that shows people that you're genuine, that you're actually in the service industry, right? It doesn't matter what your customer's doing, you're still giving excellent service at every turn. So find a way to reward that action. It's all about getting good guest reviews. Once you've got them, make sure you're cementing them, okay? 6th, now this is the last one, using testimonials in buckets. And what I mean by buckets is really, don't look at your website as a brochure. Look at it as a landing page that then goes down to different buckets. And different people with different interests and different stages in life will fall into different buckets. At that point, then they can opt in to different email lists, different communications. So do think about which are your most valuable guest segments. How are you making sure that the copy on your website is tailored to them so they know you're talking to them, as I said in step 1. But ask yourself, what are the transformations that each of your guest segments is looking for? If somebody's from the grand generation, the baby boomers, maybe they really, really are traveling to spend time with their granddaughter, right? So that's the transformation that they're looking for. And I mean, travel is not easy for elderly. The knees don't work as good as they used to, right? So show that transformation of the granddaughter sitting, and so is he. Show that kind of stuff, because then if grandpa's lap, he's reading her a story, she's having a granddaughter, guest comes and has that experience, well, then they're going to speak to that, and they're going to say, hey, this is what I experienced when I was in the hotel. If it's a married couple, that long walk on the beach. If it's a young couple, that club, that trip, that boating outing, whatever it is, really show the transformation that people are looking for, because that's if you show it in your marketing, they experience it, and then they show it in their guest review. That's some really powerful stuff. I don't know if you read my article about Subway and Jared. Remember Jared? Before the scandal, he was overweight. He ate Subway sandwiches. He lost a lot of weight, and that drove, according to Subway, that drove up to half of their business increase from 2002 to 2012. And Jared was $15 million richer by the end of this. So that's how important transformational testimonials are. You want those on TripAdvisor because then that's going to attract people who want the same thing, right? So think about different guest segments, what they want, what the transformation is that they want. Now, like I was just mentioning, have you built out your landing pages and offers for these segments? A little while earlier, I mentioned the grandfather who couldn't walk so well. Well, maybe a golf cart tour would be just the perfect thing for him. As I mentioned before, that's going to go above and beyond what somebody expects, and it's going to also eliminate the option for people to book at other hotels or on the OTAs. So these different landing pages for different guest segments with special offers are really, really key to making sure that they're establishing a direct relationship with you. And then when they got the direct relationship, there's this thing where people know that you know them. And so when they write something about you on TripAdvisor and they know that you know them, well, it's common for people to write something nice, right? If it's like just some random user handle, then they're kind of like trash talking you, right? But if it's like, hey, Mr. John, and he remembers us, and he's talking about the great service that he got from Robert at the front desk, it's a compliment to Robert, who knows John, and that's how the whole thing works. That's how that nice mood, that nice atmosphere gets created. So do make sure that you have those landing pages built to start that conversation. Next, how can these testimonials play in your social media feed? Take a look at the next 12 months of what you're going to do on social media and plan to start using these testimonials in your promotions. They're really, really powerful. I mean, you don't want to use them every single time, right? That might be too much, but this, you got the permission for people gave you permission to use them. So then take it, use it in social media on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever, and attach an offer that was maybe the same offer that guest enjoyed. So that really makes a clear case for why you're better than anybody else. So use it in your social media feed. Next, do you have brand ambassadors? These are the people that are recommending your hotel for the next wedding event, or for the next group event, for the next family reunion. These people are really, really key to driving your revenues. So how are you looking on TripAdvisor, identifying those people, striking them up a conversation, rewarding them for action, rewarding them for telling their friends, giving them something that they can give their friends to get an inside deal? How can you do all that? I'm going to cut to a screen share where I'm going to take you through that process step by step, okay? Just a second. Okay, so what if you say you don't have any brand ambassadors for your hotel? Well, here's how you would reach out to them and start creating a buzz with their positive comments and reviews on social media. So what you do is, for example, I happen to know the Rancho Las Cruces. They have an incredibly loyal guest community. So what we do here is we come down here and you see, okay, well, this is a good place for a wedding paradise. Well, the good thing to do would be to reply to this post and to give that guest a link for a discount on returning in August, for example. And anybody who is reading this post would be able to click on the link and go to the booking engine, but they wouldn't be able to actually get that promotion unless they were returning guests. So this is one way to really reach out to people individually and say, hey, come back. So let me show you how you would do that. You would go to the guest-centric platform, you would log in. Once you logged in, you would be here on the back office. Now this is just a dummy website, so none of this is live, so I can demonstrate things for you. We would go to revenue because we want more money, and then we would create a promotion. We'd create a new promotion, an active promotion, and of all the promotions, we can do lots of things. We could put a longer stay link into that TripAdvisor review. We could do a flash deal voucher, but specifically I was talking about return guests, because we really want to say, hey, you stayed with us once, stay with us again. And so let's say return and save 15%. All right. So you could even make this specific to that person. And can you imagine what a strong message that would send? Hey, if you're thinking of having your wedding, we're going to give you a 15% discount in August, and we'll help arrange all the details. You could be really specific with your copy here. We can just look at this. You can add media, etc. And then we can make it specific to the discount, and we were just going to do a flat discount of 15%. And we could say, hey, this is the inventory that we want to offer. And we can make the active period just August, just because maybe that's a season you don't sell very often. So now we're going to make it really just targeted, but it's completely open when we're selling it. Just the active period is there. So just with that, they need to have their information in the property management system, and then it will unlock this promotion for them. So we're going to publish this, and this is going to get pushed to the booking engine. It's going to get pushed to the promotion page. This will also create a mobile version. This will also send a promotion to Facebook. So, if people happen to stumble across it there, right? You can have it there. And then other channels. This means that if you had, for example, a tour guide or travel agency that you were working with, and they had the booking engine widget on their website, then it would update their inventory as well, depending on, if you're, what circumstances you're using. But going through here, let's see what that looks like. When I go to my Facebook page, this is my dummy website that I've created here. But when I go to my Facebook page, we can then see that this promotion is live, and that all people have to do when they want to get the promotion is to click on it, right? New promotion, return to save. Somebody clicks on it, and then it goes straight to the booking engine with that promotion selected. So there's no other promotion in the way, right? That's the best way to optimize conversions. You say, hey, only this, and look, it's only August, and everything else is blocked out here. So what we would do is, after we have our promotion, is then we would just go to the marketing tab, so we can reply to that person on TripAdvisor. We look at the click to book, and then we would look for our, what do we call it, promotions down here, and we called it the return and save 15%, right? We'll set the dates for August 1st. Hopefully, we'll pre-select maybe 3 nights, why not, right? And we'll create a link. Now this is the link then that we'll just go back to TripAdvisor here, and if I was the hotel general manager, I would just reply and I would say, hey, thanks so much for staying with us. I see that you mentioned that we're a wedding paradise. If you haven't had your wedding with us, this is a great opportunity. Here's a discount, but also, please do call us, and we'll help you arrange all your details. So that right there, it's great for this person that you're reaching, but then when other people are looking through the reviews, and why is it a rare gem, and then they see the reply by the manager or whatnot, and they see a special deal, a flash deal. Like I said, there are all these different types of promotions that you can create. When they see that, they can see that they can take advantage of it. And the cool thing is that the system is such that even if that deal is not unlocked for them, it will automatically show them what else is available. So you're never putting out links into social media that aren't selling. So that's how you would go about creating your brand ambassadors, really reaching out to people saying thank you, here, now take this promotion, and other people are going to see that, and then also with a little curiosity they'll look at the promotion as well, and hopefully then they'll take the good advice of your brand ambassador and book direct. All right, so hope that all makes sense, and I'll cut back to my presentation now. Okay, so I hope you see how easy that is to create specific offers and get in front of people that love you already and encourage that relationship, right? It's all about human to human. It's all about relationships. And if you can keep that conversation going, let's say a bride just had a great wedding at your hotel, keep that relationship going so that she then tells her bridesmaids that they should do that as well. And oh, by the way, here's a special link that nobody else can really get, and it'll let you get extra service bonuses, or it'll let you get discounts or more access to wedding planning services, etc. All that is really nice. We really want to make people feel like VIPs, and this is a great way to do it. Now, the conclusion here is that we really want to create relationships. We want to make it a sticky situation where all these different, people find us in all these different places, search engines, pay-per-click, blogging, affiliate deals, online ads, emails, whatever. But it goes to this free communication system that we set up. This is based on the Agora model, the Agora Publishing. Take a look at that on Wikipedia. They are a newsletter publishing giant. In 2015, they did $500 million in revenues, according to Wikipedia. But I actually spoke with one of the founders, Mark Ford, and he said it was much, much closer to $1 billion. So this system works because once people do business with them once, they then kind of move up the price ladder. They do business with them again and again and again, and they know their names, they know their email addresses. They're cultivating that like, know, trust relationship, and that's how they've driven their revenues to new levels. So look at this. You can check this out. This will also be on the landing page for this presentation. Again, moredirectbooking.com/guest-reviews. So it's essential that you create a consistent routine of garnishing positive guest reviews. Make it a part of your daily routine. Put it on your calendar. There's also ad hoc review nurturing when you see somebody does something really great, but there's the routine where you need to remind people of the great experiences they had. Do that little email, say, hey, well, thank you so much for telling us about that. Would you mind if we use that, because we want to tell people who might enjoy it as well? And oh, by the way, would you mind putting that on TripAdvisor? All these things that encourage people to take that next step forward, because when you do that, that will help you fuel your lead generation strategy, your email marketing follow-up, your loyalty programs, and your hotel's culture, right? It's all about attracting the people who would love to stay at your hotel, and then love to tell other people about it, to find more people who would love to stay at your hotel, so that you can increase your business, and that all that drives your culture. It drives the future, the vision that you want your hotel to become. So it starts with guest reviews, and that starts with making a consistent routine to constantly be doing this. Encourage everybody in your hotel. Really, the staff should be doing it. The maitre d', all these people, all these points of contact, they're all personal voices that can be used to reach out and create relationships. So I think this is very important. If you want to learn more on this subject, please join me on July 12th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be speaking with Julie Gubler about how to make testimonials work in your hotel's marketing. She is a pro at finding that testimonial that sparkles. and showing you how to put it in front of the right people to create action. So register today. Again, that's going to be at moredirectbooking.com/guest-reviews. I'll put the link in the box right below this video, or if you miss it, I'll put the replay link there as well. So you can ask questions, so you can tell us about how you do it, the unique ways that you reach out to people, and what are they saying about you? I'd love to hear about it. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye now.